I've been pretty excited for this reaction here today. I'm reacting to Either or by Elliott Smith. To be honest, I don't know that much about Elliott Smith. I know that Phoebe Bridgers likes him a lot. I know he passed away, right? Died, yeah, 2003. Okay. I know it's kind of singer-songwriter type stuff, so I gotta get my lyrical brain on. There's not much else to say. Go join the Patreon. This reaction will be uncut on there. Link in the description to go join that. And let's go. Weird chords. It's a good line. Vocally, kind of reminds me of Sufjan. Surprisingly catchy. Yeah, surprisingly catchy. Love the chorus on that. I'm gonna give that the good rating. That was pretty freaking solid. Didn't catch many lyrics. I mean, I like this line right here, kind of running in place, not getting anywhere. I do like the kind of lo-fi almost aesthetic of it though. It feels a little bit scuffed, but purposely. Yeah, overall, enjoyed it quite a bit. Vocally, like I said, kind of shades of Sufjan Stevens. I know Sufjan came after this, but very similar drums to the last track. It's a weird snare, but kind of like it. Like some precious only son. Love the subtle little background vocals too. This instrumental is so good. Ooh, the texture's there. Oh, it's like wobble on that guitar chord. Freaking amazing instrumental. Fantastic track. Fantastic. Pretty heartbreaking lyrically. Literally. Nobody broke your heart, you broke your own. Didn't even mean to do that. Yeah, I think I liked that one a little bit more than the first one. I don't really know why. I think vocally it was just a little bit more full of life, I guess. A little bit more melodic. Even though the chorus wasn't as catchy, it just felt a little bit more interesting, especially when they were going to that, what's the term for that note? It's like the leading seventh. And I think it happened when he said constant state of suspense too, which is nice, pairing the word suspense with literally what's happening in the music, you know? Seems like a heartbreak track, a breakup track. But yeah, this refrain right here, this chorus is simple, but cutting. Let's keep going. There's that chord again. It's just in major here, major key. Goes minor right there. It's interesting. It's interesting how quiet the drums are too. Like they're being played super loudly, but in the mix, it's really the guitars that are the prominent feature. Great. Oh, that's a 10, man. That is a 10. Easily a 10. Easily. Love the drums. Again, very interesting mix, having the guitars super loud, the drums being played loud, but they're mixed quietly. Elliott, obviously, his vocals are pretty prominent as well. And it was catchy. It was really interesting musically in terms of the chords changes and structure. I don't know if there's going to be that much analysis lyrically on this one. I'm going to try, but probably just going to let myself enjoy it, you know? This is where it really sounds like Sufjan. When it's intimate, close, doubled vocals. That's my least favorite one so far. It's easily the most streamed on this album, which is kind of surprising to me. It's still good, like it's still gonna get the good rating, but I don't know, just a little bit underwhelming. Maybe once I understand the lyrics and dive into those a little bit more, it'll be more enjoyable, but I don't know. It wasn't as eventful in my opinion, so yeah, still pretty solid, just not one of my favorites. Addiction, again, we had the drug addicted person in the last track. He does seem to kind of write in like the third person, it seems like, which is kind of interesting. So the alcohol is the one talking to him here, I guess. Cool songwriting technique. Not gonna dive into it too much right now, but start, stop, and start. Stupid acting smart. Oh. Flirting with the flip. Love the rhythm of this. Very staccato instrumental, but the vocals are still very legato. It's a nice contrast. Ooh, the little harmony in there. Lovely slow down moments here. Great track, great track. There's a staccato kind of chords didn't get repetitive, which I thought they would. They pretty much went throughout the entire track with some subtle switch ups here and there. The reason they didn't get repetitive is because the different textures being added on top of them. You had like a little Rhodes at the beginning, and then as the track went on, just more things being added to it, so it never felt repetitive. And then you did have the switch up moments to kind of break that up as well. Very catchy, very fun track. Definitely not fun lyrically, but yeah, I mean, I love the sound of it. Let's see what Genius. I feel like I'm relying too much on Genius in this video, but I don't care. Whatever. Okay, so it's mentioning the zombies, which often did the same thing, upbeat pop elements with darker, more suggestive lyrics, which is obviously similar to this. And yeah, I like that. I like that juxtaposition, because if you're just listening casually, you think it's just a fun track. But then you really pay attention to the lyrics and you realize that there's more going on here. That was freaking good. Let's keep going. No Name, number 5. I've been loving Nick Drake recently, especially Pink Moon, and a lot of these acoustic sounds are kind of reminding me of that, so I'm really loving this. Like this tone right here sounds very similar. It's very rich sounding, it's very dark. There's that chord, he loves that chord. I feel like there's a lot of stuff going on in terms of the chord changes that I'm not even like understanding. Like, super unique though. Ooh, that was really satisfying. Holding the drums off until now. It's just so good, man. Oh, love it. A little bit of a slower track, but it felt really satisfying with the drums coming in there. And the chord structure, again, I think the slower track before just wasn't as interesting in terms of the chords that were being played, but the chord changes and just musically what was going on in this one was really fun to listen to and really satisfying. Very slow track lyrically, like there's not much lyrics here. No chorus, just 2 verses. Reference, okay, it's not gonna give me anything. I can't rely on Genius every time, you know? I gotta use my brain somehow. It seems like there's a lot of regret on this album. Remembering things, looking back on the past, regretting things, regretting relationships that haven't worked out. So yeah, anxiety here, biting his fingernails. And yeah, I feel like regret is just the main the main theme so far, and then using substances to kind of cope with that. It's pretty sad, but let's keep going. I mean, it's even more sad considering how. Let's see, how did he? Let's see how he died. Stabbing. Oh my. What? I mean, I was just assuming like some sort of substance abuse, but that is crazy. 2 self-inflicted stab wounds. Okay, it was suicide. Okay. I feel like I kind of thought that, and I heard that somewhere, but I wasn't completely sure, so. Black Midi reference? Yo! Elliott Smith is based. Again, very rich sound to this one. Love the mix. Don't have much to say about that one. He was easy listening. He was enjoyable. Let's keep going. Judy, but they don't read page to page or speak easy. Now they're gonna go say the word. Ooh, yes. Whoa. That was so good. I love how calming this instrumental is. That snare sound is so good. It's so soft. Ugh. Love the calming nature of that track. Very easy listening on that one. It doesn't make it bad. It just easy to vibe to. Musically though, really enjoyed that one. I don't know if I give it a rating, but yeah, that was nice. Kind of running out of things to say because I feel like it's just more of the same, but more of the same is good. Oh yes. Oh, this is straight Sufjan Stevens. Again, I know this came before. Sufjan was obviously influenced by this. Beautiful. That high little synth or pad up there too. I love when he does that, where the guitar kind of, for one brief little moment, is in unison with the vocals. It's just little things like that that add so much. So is Angeles LA? That's what I was thinking, but I wasn't sure. It feels like this is kind of about moving to Los Angeles, maybe selling your soul, kind of. Even while writing this record for an indie label, he was considering the pros and cons of a contract with LA's big labels. That's a cool concept, because at first you kind of think it feels like he's singing to a person here, but obviously it's not. I mean, this is the first track I feel like I fully understand lyrically. I can tell that you're gonna be rich someday. I've seen you on a $100 bill. Yeah, it's a cool line, cool way to say that. Yeah, this one makes sense. It's a little bit more straightforward lyrically for me, at least. The sentiment is still a thing today for artists, which makes it timeless, makes it relatable for any artist. I'm surprised that the super acoustic ones, the super minimal ones, are the most streamed. Like the one before, 135 million streams. This one has 55. I feel like you'd think it would be the other way around, but I don't know. That was good. Really enjoyed that one. So you had LA, the big record labels feel like they're kind of tricking him in the last song, and then here you have Cupid's trick as well. So maybe it's gonna be, you'll see that parallel, but it's actually with a person here, with someone that he's in love with. We'll see. Cool breakdown. A little drum fill. I love how the drums almost surprise you. It's like they don't come in when you think they would come in. It's cool. It's my lie. Elliott purposely left the lyrics. You're right. Elliott purposely left the lyrics to this track off the lyric sheet on the vinyl copies. That's interesting. I don't really know what it's about. It's my lie. That is cool to me, but I don't get the sugar lit me up. Don't know what that is. But musically, again, really loved it. The drums coming in kind of unexpectedly. You'd think they would just come in right at the chorus, but they come in like a couple bars before, and it kind of surprises you. I don't even think I gave that a rating, but that was good. I just love the phrasing of the guitar playing too. It's so melodic at points. It's almost more melodic than his singing at times. Love the mix here. So subtle, so minimal, so intimate. Ooh, this is amazing right here. So maybe he's either drunk or high, waking up in an unknown place. Feels like there's abuse here. It's one of my favorites. It's just so good. It's a little bit more straightforward in terms of the chords, but still just as good. Some really cutting lyrics, like, what was that one line? You beat it in me, that's part of you, but I'm gonna split us back in two. Elliott reflects on how he had been unconsciously or unwillingly behaving in the same way as this man. His earlier references to drug usage in a negative sense imply that the part of the man that Elliott has incorporated into himself is an addict, someone who isn't in control of themselves. By wishing to split the man and himself back in two, Elliott shows a willingness to change his behavior and cut out the addicted, harmful part of himself. I mean, that just explained it perfectly right there, but I feel like I didn't even really need that. It just kind of, it says it right there. You don't have to read too much into it, but it's still a cutting kind of line, you know, that you feel. So yeah, talking about his addiction more in this track, it seems like putting myself on warning. He's on the verge of suicide, overdose, watching himself. That's amazing, man. This track is amazing. This whole album has been amazing, but specifically this one. Great stuff. Actually, that could get the 10. You know what? That's getting the 10. That's a 10 right there. That deserves it. It's cutting, emotional. I'm loving these really minimal mixes. Oh, yes. It's so simple, but so emotional. Cricket spin can't come to rest. I'm damaged, bad at best. That's very Beatles too, I feel like. That's an influence I haven't really picked up on until now. I'll probably be the last to know. No one says until it shows. Oh, yes. So good. Oh my goodness. Another 10. Another freaking 10. Love the kind of Beatles influence it feels like. With some of that melodic stuff there. I gotta see what's going on lyrically. Like this part right here, I felt like this was referencing to like drug addiction. Genius says it might be more than that. Like a hangover maybe. Now I feel changed. Instead of falling down, I'm standing up the morning after. So maybe he's fighting through that addiction, or maybe this love interest is kind of inspiring him to get better. Oh, yeah, it says right here, the lyricism in Say Yes, the closing track, in Either Or parallels that in the Beatles, All You Need Is Love. All you need is love. Yeah, right there. Yeah, I thought I recognized that. I'm proud of myself for putting that together. I mean, I didn't know what song it was, but I knew it sounded like the Beatles. This is great, man. This album was freaking amazing. I absolutely loved it. It was beautiful at points, very sad, very heartbreaking, very nuanced and well thought out and personal. terms of the lyrics and the songwriting. The guitar playing, fantastic. Reminded me a lot of Nick Drake, especially Pink Moon. Very lush and dense and full sounding acoustic guitars. Vocally, you can hear the Sufjan Stevens taking influence from this. It's very airy, it's very intimate, it's very whispery almost vocally, which adds to that kind of personal and intimate feeling. That's gonna do it for this video. Let me know your thoughts on this album down below. Go join the Patreon. You get priority requests if you join the $8 tier, uncut reactions if you don't join the $4 tier. And yeah, I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.